Hello there. I don't know if you've seen too many of my other videos, and if you haven't, I'll give you a quick update. I am a big believer in effectively parenting opposed to emotionally parenting. When we feel our emotions and we don't control them, or we're not self-aware of them enough to know that we're releasing our emotions on our children in terms of if we're angry and we're yelling at them, or we're punishing them, or we're trying to teach them a lesson, or if we're feeling guilty or maybe a little bit of shame or a little bit of sadness about something we've done, so we're spoiling them or letting them get away with whatever they want, or not enforcing rules. That's not effective parenting. What effective parenting is navigating our own emotions, but still having consistency, patience, boundaries with our children. We effectively parent through communication, through connection. We teach our child and teach ourselves about how the brain works. So why we go into the amygdala, the little brain, how we get back into our big brain, the prefrontal cortex, to make good decisions. These are all tools I've talked about. And so as we take all this in, we might be wondering, well, what do we do in terms of rules, consequences, expectations, boundaries, and limits? I hope you're not thinking that you don't have any of those. I am a big believer in all of those, and having a home with structure, having a home where a child knows what to expect. They know what is the right choice or the wrong choice, potentially. They know what's going to happen based on their choices. So consistency. So if we look at, in terms of discipline, what is discipline? And in this video, I'm going to give you two different definitions that I've found on discipline, and you can decide which one you want to use. Definition number one was a Google search. It said the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Discipline is the practice of making people obey rules or standards of behavior and punish them when they do not. Well, unfortunately, a lot of us grew up that way, and a lot of the old school parenting beliefs were to punish your children. If they did not do the right thing, you punished them, you took something away, you grounded them, you gave them a timeout, you put them in their room, you did this, you did that. So basically, you were trying to control their behavior through intimidation, through threats, and by overpowering them. I could go into a long video of why that's not effective, but I will just say that it's not effective. The other definition that I found was from a book called No Drama Discipline by Dr. Dan Siegel. I read this book long times afterwards, after I was fostering, and what I learned through fostering children and parenting for 6 years, what does work and what doesn't, this definition really reminded me of what I learned. The word discipline comes directly from the Latin word disciplina, which was used as far back as the 11th century to mean teaching, learning, and giving instruction. So from its inception in the English language, discipline has meant to teach. The root of discipline is the word disciple, which means student, pupil, and learner. A disciple, the one receiving discipline, is not a prisoner or recipient of punishment, but one who is learning through instruction. So when I read that definition, I was like, man, that is so true. In my parenting journey and working with children, when you try to punish a child to teach them a lesson, yikes, you're inviting a power struggle, you're inviting an outburst, you're inviting a lot of drama, stress, and parenting overwhelm. But if you look at discipline as your child is a disciple, a student, someone who needs to learn, well, it changes everything. As the parent, you're the teacher. It is your job as the parent, number one, to teach your child what's right from wrong. So number two, you need to role model right from wrong. So you got to look at this in two ways. What are you doing on a daily basis? How are you role modeling for your child? From the age of 0, so a baby, all the way up to 25, the brain is developing. So your child's brain is developing based on what's going on around them. So what kind of environment are you providing? What are you role modeling? Your child's watching what you're doing all the time. So how are you interacting with your partner, with your children, with your colleagues from work, with your friends? How do you manage your emotions? How do you control situations? So that's part of teaching, is role modeling. The other part is teaching your child that it's okay to make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Why would we have higher expectations of our children than we do of ourselves? So when your child makes a mistake, You put on your parenting detective hat, you discover the why. Why did they do that? You lay out to them what different choice they could have made, so you teach them. So then your child absorbs this information and they know what to do next time.